those holes. Specifically, as you go in, there's one or two bad areas, and then as you bear right to go into the parking lot behind the Salesian building, there's quite a bit. So,
Oh, wait, you're talking Salesian.
We were talking about,
he's talking about Craigville. Oh, you're talking about Craigville? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't, he's talking about doing Craigville out there?
Yeah.
Oh, I
and
know.
then I heard asphalt.
I know nothing about Craigville. JRC has not
If you
requested
could,
anything through
if
me.
you could do this, would you
to
talk,
Craigville.
Would
The only thing they were asking was some stone.
the stone would be no problem. But you go
Well,
on
stone
in-
where? In the driveway that the library owns?
Right, right in that area there. Well,
The
it's,
library owns that.
yeah, I know, but the library, but we have an easement through there to go there to use our
Could you
park.
do this? Could you talk to Broderick, find out what the requests are? I think there'd be multiple
So much
requests.
traffic out there.
And just tie it in between him and them. We'll do what we gotta do.
Yeah.
Dennis, this next one is for you. The real property tax service.
Right.
I read this thing and I thought, oh, mama, you know.
Yeah, it's,
Does this mean that they're getting into our pocket relative to creating new districts like the
No, I
ones
think
that-
it means that they want, is that they're trying to streamline informationally speaking. And they want an advance notice of any expansion, creation, for purposes of taxing aspects and
Well,
billing purposes.
I
So,
got
you know,
a
it's
problem
a
with that.
decent housekeeping matter. It's just that it's gonna force us to comply at an earlier time with notification to them, that's all.
Well, but I mean, I was thinking like this 75
Heritage,
additional
right,
homes and all
right.
that stuff. Do we need to?
Yes, yeah, you would need to adhere to that, yeah. It's, you know, it's ministerial, but nevertheless, it's another hoop you have to, it's government.
But is there certain things here we got to do?
Yes, there's a resolution and a certification.
Oh, yeah, and
They can all
public
be,
hearing?
yeah, well, we've already done that, though, if you follow.
Well, I understand that, but I read this and wow, we got to do
Yeah.
this by August 1st.
Yeah,
Look at it, and then we'll talk about it.
Not a problem, yeah, but we can coordinate it, it's not a
Okay.
problem.
Sounds good.
Washington DC got a problem talking about it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, I looked at this,
Yeah.
more government.
Oh, yeah.
More
And-
government.
But I understand the rationale. They're looking to make sure that their tax rolls integrity is maintained, because there's going to be ad valorem and indoor special charges, and they want advance notice and proper rolls, which we would do in any event, but maybe some towns don't. You know, it's
Got it.
possible.
Okay. The next item is, we got more money this week, guys.
Hey.
We received grant payments from the State Comptroller's Office of $3,758 for a police department air conditioner. And I love this next one. $5,476 for the Scotchtown Park water storage tank. Both of those came from legislator Andy Rabbit, probably over a year ago. And taking that, but the money is in our accounts now, guys.
2 years. I went
2
to
years?
see her 2 years ago.
Okay.
It took a while.
Now this next item is for just you. You know, we got a letter from the village a couple weeks back where they unilaterally canceled our contracts for Arcadia Hills and Hamiltonian Park. And in regard to, let's see if I've got to the sewer contracts. And then I just got another letter on Friday, you know, from the village, and it was talking about arbitration, and the arbitrator's not going to rewrite the current contract and all this stuff, and yada yada. And I look at all this, and I thought, well, you know what? Nothing for nothing. I really do believe, whether we ever pull the trigger on it or not, we do need to discuss establishing of a team to explore alternate sewer services for the current and future town citizens regarding sewer. Because we need to understand what the options are. Hooking into Chester, hooking into Florida, hooking into the county, having American Water Sewer build it, lease it, operate it, whatever. Because if we get to the 11th hour and those hours keep clicking away, I mean, how many days now have we asked for a written consent from the village for the expansion, you know, of 75 homes in Hamiltonian Park? We haven't got it, nor do I think we're going to get it. Okay. So, anytime soon. So anyway, I'm putting that on the table. Oh, and the other thing is, in this arbitration, if I heard once, I heard it twice, I guess, their attorney saying, well, if you don't like us, go out and build your own. Or,
Paraphrasing.
you know, whatever. And we, of course, heard that from Mayor Higgins. You know, if you guys don't like it, go build your own.
He was gonna shut it off.
Of course,
He was shutting it off.
So anyway, I don't mean to be cantankerous about this, but I think it's a worthwhile effort that we start exploring a little bit and put a team or two together. So I'd like authorization from the board, basically, to proceed on.
Well, just to add to that, you know, a number of years ago, we had talked about regional sewer because the old sewer was not an issue. They didn't supposedly have capacity. We didn't know, we weren't that involved or that learned on how the sewer works as we are now. But to make a long story short, we started the wheels in process to have a regional sewer. And I had been approached by someone that says, you know what, I'll build you a sewer, you get the land. Obviously, a developer would have to do it, or a group of developers would build a sewer and then dedicate it to the town. We would take it over and operate it. That's usually how it works. So, but I think we do need a committee to start looking at alternatives because, I mean, we have 2 subdivisions that we have to provide sewer for. They've canceled contracts and we're living under this terrible threat. The problem would be, I live in the village. We're talking about 400 village customers. But if for some reason the village does not want to take additional customers or there's a problem with our customers, there's nowhere to go. So I think as strictly a defensive measure, I agree with you, Doug. We really have to start, maybe we'll put a team together and start looking at alternatives as their attorney has told us.
Any other comments?
Would this be a committee just of board members, or are you going to reach out?
No, this would, well, I don't know.
I don't know, that's
I think I would probably start with a couple of board members and ask them to kind of look at it and see, and come back to us with maybe an outline of what they need or whatever.
It could be, and yeah, I mean, just thinking, it could be a modular plant where it could start at one size for costs, and as other developers come, they could build onto it and so on and so forth. And so,
Well, as I've said before, this is the absolute positive last alternative.
Oh,
It is not good for the community when we've got capacity in that plant out there.
yeah,
We've just got to get on with having the options there.
we should start looking at the options. I mean, their attorney said we should look at them, so I think we should.
I'm leaving.
All right,
Okay.
so
Not
long.
enough for this.
So long.
Yeah. See you in the morning. Well, you're gonna cool us down?
Yeah, put your jacket on.
Okay.
I'm tired.
Any other comments?
That's my
this
2
is-
cents
I've got
anyway.
2. Anybody else got any ideas on this?
Any 3 senses?
I brought this up, 69, that's cold, you know.
No, I just comment, I think it's a point well taken. The board really does need to review and study this type of subject because, again, I'm noticed that some of the board members, it's come up in the arbitration on a number of occasions that the village believes that they are under some severe capacity constraints from the state and the DEC, that should they add additional capacity for any purpose, they may be required to have trade-offs or much like your wetlands set-offs in terms of I&I treatment. And then again, that would even be out of the control of the village and us. It would be something immediate coming down from the state. So it's the type of thing you should be studying. And, you know, again, as Doug had pointed out, it would be a last alternative, but you need to have some flexibility going forward because you don't know what's going to result, both in terms of your planning, your zoning, your projects, and you know, the reality of service to them.
Name a committee.
Okay.
Okay.
Based on that, I'll talk outside this meeting with some of the folks to see what we want to do.
I wouldn't have a problem being on it.
Okay, very good.
I got nominated, I don't want to be upset with it.
Good. Thank
You'd be a
you.
good guy. You'd be a good guy.
Right? Louis?
Louis,
Louis would be a good
Ken
kid.
would be
You
a
know,
good
Ken's
guy.
working with me on the negotiation. I think we need to stay
Well,
focused on
right
that.
now, you got nothing to do.
So, let's fill your time up.
Now, wait a second.
You're working on something, you just said there's nothing happening, so don't say you're working on something.
The mayor says he's looking forward to more cordial meetings. Yes. Didn't read the letter. So
Yeah.
don't get- Just him.
I read it,
Yeah, I'll have some comments later on about that.
yeah,
And he
so,
said he's gonna get back to us,
I
right?
just wanted to add some humor. to
Okay,
this.
now,
Shot movies.
does anybody else have anything they'd like to talk about in general session?
Yes, I have just one quick question. I mean, I was just executive, no, the issue came up with the annexation land from the agreement we have with the village of Goshen, and they annexed that land.
Village of Florida.
He's going to Florida.
Yeah.
Can we discuss that publicly, or?
No, well, we can, but what happened,
Okay.
Rick Golden was on vacation for a week, so
Oh, so we have not, okay.
So he's the guy.
Oh, that's the money we were.
Yeah, I know we can do it here, or we have to do it exactly.
Yep,
That's all. Okay. I didn't think it was. but
That's
I
good,
wasn't
I-
sure. Looking
That's
very
good.
vague.
Let me write this. Okay, anything else?
We're gonna roll this month, Belgium.
I love money.
All right. Good.
As long as it comes
Here.
around.
That's right.
Okay, would someone like to make a motion then we go into executive session to discuss the status of sewer arbitration, discuss the tax surcharge status for Orange Hollow, Rad Realty, Matrock Realties, with the intent not to return. Is there anybody else got anything like? Oh, and police personnel issue, thank you.
Thank you, I was gonna lean over, I don't know what I was supposed to say.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries, thank you very much.
Oh, you were there.